Good afternoon, members of the committee, members of Parliament, and the other witnesses called upon to speak on rural crime today. My name is Nick Cornea, and I am the founder and president of Farmers Against Rural Crime, a Facebook page that I started up in February to bring awareness and to push for changes on rural crime in Western Canada. I may find it hard to keep this into a 10-minute introduction, but I am here today as one voice for the 17,500 members that I have on my page from coast to coast. I'm a father of two and a third-generation farmer on a farm near Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. We live near two large populated areas, Moose Jaw and Regina. Living near these populated areas, we face the challenges of rural crime on a daily basis. Over the last 8 months of this page being created, I have received hundreds upon hundreds of stories from people all over Canada about crime in their area. Their first-hand experiences with the struggles of handling theft financially and emotionally are they're second to none. Some of the stories that have been told to me would break most people's hearts. Stories of families that show their children where to hide in their house, so if thieves do break into their house, their children can be safe. Coming home from the school bus and having to run from their lane up into the yard, into the house, lock the doors. Stories of people that put an 8-foot chain link fence with razor wire around their house. They all have an automatic opener for the gate to get into their house. They drive their vehicle in, they close the gate. They then hit their garage door opener, open the garage door, drive in, close the garage door, and then unlock their house. That's how bad some areas are in northern Saskatchewan. Victims are losing not only material goods, they're losing livestock, pets, and even lately a large Clydesdale horse to thieves just to make a quick buck. I have also heard the issues with response times of police. In rural Western Canada, even though we may only be 20 to 30 minute drive from the nearest detachment, the response time of an officer may be from hours up to even days to get out to our locations. This leaves us as, quote unquote, sitting ducks for criminals to come out and get what they want and leave. We are then left frightened, alone, and fearing we may have to defend ourselves, which will put us into becoming a criminal and no longer the victim, as we have seen with the Maurice family in Okotoks, Alberta. In Saskatchewan, we have also seen an increase in young offenders doing the crimes. Some young offenders in the last few months, as young as 11 years old, being involved in break-and-enters and theft of motor vehicles. My group has made an outcry to have the age of the Youth Criminal Justice Act reduced to the age of 14 to 15. These teenagers know what they are doing and how to do it, and they do know the crime will be on their record, will be exonerated once they turn the age of 18. The lifetime criminals also know this, and they use this to their advantage. In conclusion, the vast majority of our group would like to see the changes in the Youth Criminal Justice Act, stiffer penalties to the criminals, and stop that revolving door from turning. Restitution for loss of goods and insurance premiums. Not only are our possessions stolen, we then have to pay a deductible to get them back. Then, in turn, the insurance company raises our premiums to get the money back for the money that they have given us. Faster response times for police and RCMP. Stationing 1 or 2 officers in every small community would probably help the situation. Might not fix it, but would definitely help it. We would also like to see funding for mental health of the victims. victims who suffer from anxiety and other issues stemming from the crime on their property. I have one story in particular, a 26-year-old woman who farms and ranches with a neighbor. Every paycheck she saves money and goes to the local, like over the year she'll save her money from working on the neighboring ranch. She goes to the local livestock auction, buys 1 or 2 head of bred heifers, brings them back to her place and tries to grow her herd. Her end goal is she wants to make a sustainable future for herself and her family. She's been broken into in the last 4 years 6 times, 4 in the last 2 years. One time in particular, she came home, all her doors were open, her dogs were outside, and her fences were left open. She was scared, she didn't go in, she went back to work. She called her father and her boss. They went and checked out the house. When she arrived after, when they said the coast was clear, she walked into complete devastation. TVs ripped off the walls and stolen. They had literally jumped through the drywall, destroying the house from end to end. And not only did they hurt her financially, they hurt her emotionally, stealing her underwear drawer to take with them as a prized possession or some kind of trophy. These are things that our group would like to see change. We don't want to live in fear for our lives and fear for our families. I myself have a 15-year-old sister and a 13-year-old brother that help on the farm. I don't want to have the radio phone call from being in the field combining or driving the semi from my sister or my brother saying, "There's someone in our yard, I don't know what to do." I know a lot of you are from urban areas and don't realize that a tractor isn't like a truck or a car. We do 20 kilometers an hour to 30 kilometers an hour down the road in road gear. There is no mechanism to lock the door, and generally all our doors are made of glass, so we have full view of our crop as we're driving, spraying, combining, seeding, other tillage property or other tillage parts in our farm. I never want to hear that phone call that my sister is being murdered, raped, taken advantage of, because these criminals, once you see their face, all of a sudden it's fight or flight for them. So I know we're a long distance apart, but when you're making your findings and doing your reports, think of my family, think of my 4-year-old son, my 1-year-old daughter, my 13-year-old brother, my 15-year-old sister, and the fear that we have in our area with criminals and theft. Because it's not only the properties that we're worried about losing, it's our family members. I'd like to thank you guys for inviting me to be part of this inquiry. I hope together we can bring forth changes to help combat this epidemic in rural Canada. And I always finish on my Facebook page with the slogan of our page: be vigilant and not vigilantes. Thank you.